Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a topic that's super important for men's health. We're talking about foods that you should avoid if you want to keep things working smoothly down there. We're going to break down the science behind why certain foods can sabotage your performance and what you can swap them with to keep everything running in tip-top shape. We're talking long-term solutions here, not quick fixes. Because let's face it, a healthy lifestyle is the key to a healthy, well, you know. So if you're ready to ditch the junk and fuel your body with the good stuff, grab a seat, hit that like button, and let's get into it. First up, we're tackling the usual suspects: processed foods. Think of those bags of chips, those frozen dinners, those sugary cereals that scream "I'm convenient" but secretly plotting against your health. These bad boys are loaded with unhealthy fats, enough sodium to make a salt flat blush, and preservatives that could probably survive a nuclear apocalypse. The problem is, all that junk takes a toll on your blood circulation. And guess what needs good blood flow to function properly? You got it, champ. So what's the solution? Ditch the drive-thru and start cooking at home more often. I know it sounds daunting, but trust me, it's worth it. Plus, think of all the money you'll save by not hitting up those fast food joints. Remember guys, taking care of your body isn't just about looking good. It's about feeling good and performing your best in all areas of life. Next up, we're talking about sugar. Now, I'm not saying you have to give up dessert altogether. Where's the fun in that? But let's just say that too much sugar can really put a damper on your love life. You see, when you consume a ton of sugar, your body turns it into fat. And that fat, my friends, can build up in your arteries, making it harder for blood to flow where it needs to go. Plus, all that sugar can mess with your insulin levels, which can also contribute to ED. And let's not forget about the energy crashes. You know what I'm talking about? That feeling of being completely drained and ready for a nap after a sugar binge. Not exactly the recipe for a romantic evening, is it? So, how do you keep your sweet tooth in check without feeling deprived? First of all, ditch the sugary drinks. Soda, juice, sweetened coffee drinks, they're all loaded with sugar and empty calories. Instead, stick to water, unsweetened tea, or even sparkling water with a splash of fruit juice. Your body and your partner will thank you. All right, guys, let's talk about trans fats. Those sneaky little devils that lurk in all sorts of processed foods. You'll find them in fried foods, baked goods, even some margarine. And let me tell you, they're not doing your love life any favors. Trans fats are basically the evil twins of healthy fats. They raise your bad cholesterol levels and lower your good cholesterol levels, which is a recipe for disaster when it comes to your heart health. And as we all know, a healthy heart is essential for a healthy, well, you know. The problem is, trans fats are everywhere. They're in those crispy French fries, those flaky pastries, even those seemingly innocent microwave popcorn bags. But don't despair, my friends, there are ways to avoid them. First of all, read labels carefully. If you see the words partially hydrogenated oil on the ingredient list, put it down and run in the opposite direction. Secondly, choose healthier cooking methods. Instead of frying your food, try baking, grilling, or roasting it. Remember guys, a little bit of effort goes a long way when it comes to your health. Now let's talk about everyone's favorite social lubricant, alcohol. I'm not here to tell you to abstain completely. A glass of wine with dinner or a beer with friends can be perfectly enjoyable. But when it comes to your performance, too much alcohol can really throw things off. You see, alcohol is a depressant. That means it slows down your central nervous system, which can make it harder to achieve and maintain an erection. Plus, alcohol can dehydrate you, which can also lead to problems in the bedroom. And if you're a heavy drinker, you're putting yourself at risk for even more serious health problems, like liver damage and nerve damage. So, how much alcohol is too much? Well, that depends on a variety of factors, including your age, weight, and overall health. But as a general rule of thumb, it's best to stick to no more than 2 drinks per day if you're a man. Let's talk about red meat. Now, I'm not saying you have to give up steak and burgers altogether, but let's just say that too much red meat can be a real buzzkill in the bedroom. Red meat is high in saturated fat, which can clog your arteries and make it harder for blood to flow freely throughout your body. And as we've already discussed, good blood flow is essential for a healthy, well, you know. Plus, processed meats like bacon, sausage, and hot dogs are often loaded with sodium and other unhealthy additives. So, how much red meat is too much? Again, it depends on your individual health and dietary needs. But as a general rule of thumb, it's best to limit your intake to no more than a few servings per week. Your heart and your partner will thank you. Alright guys, let's talk about sodium. It's in everything these days. Bread, cheese, canned soups, you name it. And while we all need a little bit of sodium in our diets, too much can wreak havoc on our health, especially when it comes to our performance in the bedroom. You see, when you consume too much sodium, your body retains water. This can lead to high blood pressure, which puts a strain on your heart and blood vessels. And as we've already discussed, good cardiovascular health is essential for a healthy, well, you know. Plus, high blood pressure can damage the lining of your blood vessels, making it harder for blood to flow freely. So, how do you keep your sodium intake in check? First of all, read labels carefully. You'd be surprised how much sodium is hiding in seemingly healthy foods. Secondly, cook at home more often. When you cook your own meals, you can control the amount of sodium that goes into your food. Let's talk about dairy. Now, I'm not saying you have to give up cheese altogether. What kind of monster do you take me for? But let's just say that too much full-fat dairy can put a real damper on your romantic endeavors. You see, full-fat dairy products are loaded with saturated fat, which can raise your cholesterol levels and contribute to heart disease. And as we've already discussed, a healthy heart is essential for a healthy, well, you know. Plus, some people are sensitive to dairy, and consuming it can lead to bloating, gas, and other digestive issues. So, how do you enjoy dairy without sabotaging your love life? First of all, choose low-fat or fat-free options whenever possible. These options still provide calcium and other essential nutrients, but without all the artery-clogging saturated fat. Secondly, moderate your intake. You don't have to give up cheese entirely, but try to limit your consumption to a few servings per week. Let's talk about fried foods. I know, they're crispy, they're crunchy, they're downright irresistible. But when it comes to your performance in the bedroom, fried foods are about as helpful as a screen door on a submarine. You see, fried foods are loaded with unhealthy fats, which can clog your arteries and make it harder for blood to flow freely throughout your body. And as we've already discussed, good blood flow is essential for a healthy, well, you know. Plus, fried foods are often high in calories and low in nutrients. This can lead to weight gain, which can further contribute to ED. So how do you satisfy your cravings for crispy, crunchy goodness without sabotaging your love life? First of all, try baking or grilling your food instead of frying it. These cooking methods can give you that crispy texture you crave without all the unhealthy fat. And finally, moderate your intake. Let's talk about soy. Now, soy has gotten a bit of a bad rap over the years, with some people claiming that it can lower testosterone levels and lead to ED. But is there any truth to these claims? Well, like most things in life, it's a bit more complicated than that. Soy contains compounds called phytoestrogens, which are plant-based compounds that can mimic the effects of estrogen in the body. However, the phytoestrogens in soy are much weaker than the estrogen produced by the human body, and there's no evidence to suggest that moderate soy consumption has any negative effects on testosterone levels or erectile function in men. So what's the bottom line on soy? Moderate consumption is perfectly healthy for most men. Let's talk about gout. It's a painful, inflammatory condition that affects the joints, and it can also put a real damper on your romantic life. Gout is caused by a buildup of uric acid in the blood, which can form crystals that accumulate in the joints, causing pain and inflammation. And here's the kicker: certain foods can trigger gout flares. These foods are high in purines, which are compounds that are broken down into uric acid in the body. So which foods should you avoid if you're prone to gout? Well, some of the biggest culprits include organ meats, like liver and kidneys, shellfish, red meat, and certain types of fish, like anchovies and sardines. But if you're prone to gout, it's best to enjoy them in moderation. And be sure to balance your intake of high purine foods with plenty of low purine options, like fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. Thanks for watching, folks. Remember, a healthy diet is key to keeping everything in check. We covered a lot of ground today, but the main takeaway is simple. What you eat has a direct impact on your overall health, including your performance in the bedroom. By making smart choices about the foods you consume, you can improve your cardiovascular health, manage your weight, and boost your energy levels, all of which can lead to a more satisfying and enjoyable sex life. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more health tips. See you next time.